Thank you for having us.
Welcome everybody to this AMA with our friends and partners from DGPALS. Today we will have an AMA and we will go deeper into the team of DGPALS, do some explanation about what is DGPALS, the company, the game, what do they stand for. We will go over the roadmap, do some tokenomics, and of course have a nice informal chat with everybody from the DGPALS community. With us today from DGPALS is co-founder Samson O, esports and gaming expert. He started his esports career in 2002, if I'm not mistaken, Samson.
Hi, Bart. Thanks for having us.
Hi.
I guess the one that you're referring is just Gosu Gamers. Gosu Gamers acquired it in 2020, and that is a media company for esports. Yeah. And in terms of the esports and gaming stuff, I think I started off as someone who gave a chance to some gamers who are really talented in playing games. From then on, we decided to hire a lot of gamers. That's how we became, how I co-founded Team Flash from then on, and some other stuff as well. And here we are now talking about DGPALS now.
Yeah, but it's also good to have some background behind the persons who are actually driving the platform. And to say the least, you have a gaming heart, and you are all about games, and now venturing through to the blockchain. That's great to see that a conventional gaming person is actually trying to establish something really good on the blockchain. And that's what makes my heart tick.
Just to add on, but before I let my partners introduce themselves, just to share to you, I guess at the end of the day, I will always remember many years ago when people playing games, you get all these parents coming to you asking you, why are you bringing my son to play games, right? Or even building games. Content creators never given a chance to sustain itself. And I always felt that there's a strong push. Many years ago, I tell myself I want to play a part together with a team to make a difference where we can actually tell people now whether you play games, whether you build games, or whether you're content creators. Everyone has a chance now. And with this Web3 and what we are building right now, I guess we are just using that Web3 to be enabled. Now, everyone that is good enough, you are good enough. If you're passionate, if you can create stuff, I don't care what's your results, you will make a living. And I truly believe Web3 has helped us to speed up that process of realizing that dreams of a lot of gamers and content creators. I guess this is what is driving all of us in our whole platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also with us, we have Kit, also co-founder of DGPALS. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Kit?
Yeah, so I have spent about 8 years in games development. So in between, I spent 3 years in Silicon Valley building games for mobile space and mobile platform. And when I came back, I was in all kinds of startups, right? Focused around games, right? How do you use games as a tool for education? How do you use games for analytics and so on and so forth? So yeah, we co-founded a few game studios together with Samson. Very happy and very glad to have met him. And DGPAL is actually the third game studios we have co-founded together. And yeah, I think this is something that is new. We are not in because it is like the hype train right now. What we saw as a gamer is that Web3 can provide a different kinds of gaming experience that is different from mobile, from console and PC. So end of the day, we want to capitalize on this unique selling point of Web3 technology to really deliver a different kinds of gaming experience for players, right? So I think it's all about read, write, and own, right? So I think this is the part that is really very different. And yeah, I mean, as a long-time game maker for 8 years, we have always been not really that much connected with the communities, because when we build a game, it often goes through publisher, goes through third-party platform like Steam, like iOS, Android, so on and so forth. And yeah, I mean, when you get a feedback, it's really only when the game goes live. Whereas in this particular space, it did kind of give us a new kind of paradigm whereby the player engagement, the feedback is almost instantaneous. At the same time, it does opens up a more data-driven, I would say, or market-driven product development pipeline. Yeah, this is something that's very new, and yeah, as we figure our way out, we still have the heart to make a good game. In fact, we are not making one game; we are making a series of games. So, yeah.
Thank you. And also with us, the driving force in communication, Samantha. She helped establish this AMA and is a big part of the community in DGPALS. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Samantha?
So hi everyone, Samantha here from the product team. So I'm happy to be here. So I actually, a little background of myself. So I actually came from a traditional marketing background, with 5 years and more of experience in advertising and doing events. So jumping the bandwagon onto the blockchain, crypto, and NFT space. So it's pretty much a steep learning curve, for everyone in this space. But of course, I'm happy to be working with closely with the community as well as on the marketing side of for the project. Yeah. So thanks for having us, Bart.
No problem, no problem. Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys, and also I think that the Versagames and DGPALS teams are pretty much in line of what they how they view the space, the gaming and the crypto space. As where also as Versagames, we try to work as much as possible with the community, rewarding them for their efforts, either in Versa tokens, NFTs, but it could also be that you become a video creator or a content creator for written articles, and especially for the countries where the wages are particularly low compared to some of the other countries in the world, it could be a very nice addition, or maybe even a fully flow of cash which supports your family. And that's what I like about Web3, also NFT gaming, proof of ownership. Instead of that, everything you win in your nice game is now from EA or Epic. It's now from yourself, and you can sell it and you can do with it what you like. What's your vision about that?
Yeah, I think this is the part that I think is quite transparent, or not transparent, sorry, it's quite hidden from the general public, right? If we look at a lot of games development right now, people are talking about play to earn, and they say that it's not sustainable. Right? While it's not sustainable, we need to recognize one thing, is that every time we design a game or develop a game, the development budget is only approximately 20 to 40% of what it will cost, because there's still a lot of user acquisition dollar that needs to go in, marketing dollar that needs to go in. So one example could be games like Cyberpunk, right? So it took about 300 million to develop. It costs just as much to market the game.
Yeah.
So essentially what we are doing here right now is to redivert the money that we are planning to spend anyways on marketing and put it into incentives, right? And gamify it to a certain extent, and allow players to capture that while helping the game grow to capture more players. So this is one of the equation that often than not people missed out. And I think that by having a proper game design and game experience, this part can really be fun. At the same time, be quite beneficial in creating even more careers and jobs opportunity for the players.
Absolutely, totally agree. Well, when we look at your roadmap, it's quite excuse me, it's quite an exciting roadmap to see. It's quite ambitious, but so far you've met you checked out on all the things on your roadmap up to now. Can you tell me a little bit about the roadmap ahead for DGPALS?
I think let me chip in first before I let Keith talk about the specific roadmap. Let us also share you the thought process when we first started putting all this, when we need to decide whether to put investment into this Web3 and start to build a studio, started hiring people, and I guess the main philosophy that we wanted to build around, right? If we were getting a lot of requests from the people who sold the NFTs asking us to build games. We also see that token and NFTs you don't get a lot of content update and all this, right? And one of the key things that we wanted to do is to constantly push out content, right? I think also not just one type of content, different type of content. So I'm talking about games, right? Different type of games. Just like people like me, who is so busy now, we have no time to play games despite we want to play. Let's say, for example, we have 15 minutes. We want to play certain things that help us to distress or casual games. This is where the idea came about, where we wanted to make sure that we build content that serve different type of community or people like different type of games, right? Of course, not forgetting when it comes to when you have certain rights, of course, everyone who invests into the NFTs or even the token that we are going to launch, of course, you want your value to be sustained. And this is something that we are mindful as well. When you have different type of content, you will have a lot of levers, all the utilities, right? And also, not only that, you get to maintain the value of all those assets that you invest into the DigiVerse, all the assets that we are going to launch. I guess, but that is where we are coming from as well. So when you look at the roadmap, I think it fits into all the principles that what we are trying to build.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I like. Also, it's also approached from different standpoints. You can either be an investor or a casual gamer, or, like you say, just winding down a little bit of stress you got from all the meetings, all the calls, and all the business you had to take care of, and you just want to play a game just to put your mind aside for a short while, and then continue with your daily business. But on the other hand, for the hardcore gamers, there's a ladder system where you can actually improve yourself, get great value in winning stuff, earning tokens. But on the other hand, it suits all the needs from the casual gamer to the very talented and hardcore a competition gamer. So that's what I like also, indeed. And I like that you addressed that point also.
Yes, but Key, you want to add in terms of the subsequent stuff?
Yeah, I mean, this whole development is not without its ups and downs, right? So I think those who have followed us since December, they might say, well, these guys have been delaying some of the roadmap here and there. I think we recognize that, and the thing is, yeah, we make a lot of conscious effort to ensure that it is for the goodness of the project and also for longevity purposes. It's really about sustainability, it's about optimization. So there were some things that we were more well learned about, right, over time, and there were some things that we discovered didn't work. So at this kind of learning journey, this kind of learning progress, some kind of changes and alteration of the roadmap is definitely going to be there. Like, for example, those who saw back in December, they could have seen multiple Genesis rounds of sales, but right now there's only one, right? So we have concluded that it has ended and there will not be any more Genesis sales. So these are really some of the changes that you can see on the roadmap. And yeah, so I think we're quite happy with what we have come to right now, because this month we'll be releasing two of the 4 games that we are promising this year. So I have not seen any NFT game project that has 2 separate games or even multiple games, right, for a single set of NFTs and a token.
Or actually also delivering them within a certain time frame. There are a lot of game studios that are promising, but are delaying, and people get anxious. They invest a lot of money in NFTs, and then they cannot play, and that creates a vicious circle where people are leaving the project, leaving the protocol. But I like that. I'd rather have a game that or a roadmap point that is released that actually works than something that does not work and is half done. You know, that devaluates for me the whole project. If I look at, for example, Blizzard Gaming, they are the kings of releasing content later and later and later. But when they come with something, it's definitely worth waiting for. And I'd rather have that than something that doesn't work.
Yeah, definitely, right. For developers, I think one of the things that we always struggle with is trying to see how long can we last in terms of development, right, with the budget that we have. At the same time, market has its own sentiment whether or not they are willing to buy into your game project, right? So I think it's really a difficult balance, I must say. Even though we have so many years of experience building and shipping games, we still struggle a lot, right? So other game studios, other smaller teams, I don't see how they can actually do it without the support of the community, as well as being able to connect with VCs and investors to really buy into their vision, buy into their dreams, and create that product for the market.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In fact, but just to chip into what Keith said, right? Let me share a bit of what is happening in the company, right? A lot of people build one team to build games, and then maybe this continued with the update. But for us, we are building a lot of subset of teams that are taking care of different product or different games, right? We even have a team that's building the NFT loan system, right? A team building the marketplace, a team constantly build the New World Legends. So you can see we have a lot of teams, right? Sub-teams and also micro leads on all the projects. Imagine we are undertaking such aggressive move and the kind of investment that we're putting. Even if I have the money now, because of COVID, it gets difficult when we want to hire, but nevertheless, we have been pushing hiring like crazy. So if any one of you guys listening in, if you think that you want to be a part of game development, we are more than happy to speak to you, explore with you. But this is the beauty of Web3, right? Again, when we build games, now we can even include the feedback from the community, right? And some of the stuff. So we see that the whole infrastructure of what we are trying to build, I call it the ecosystem, not just game, or the whole platform. It really takes a lot of efforts and investment from our side. And again, no matter what we are doing, we just want to make sure that at the end of the day, it goes back to the principle of trying to withhold the value and also trying to mitigate the risk of having a big gap without content. We want to constantly create an environment where it feels like when you were young, you went to the arcade system, you changed to a token, you can choose the machine that you want to play. We really want to reignite that. That's what we are trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kit, you were talking about the two games that will come out shortly, and then we're talking about New World and Legends, correct?
That is right. Yes, that's right.
And when we look at New World is basically it has an idle gameplay where you can hatch up to 10 eggs all around the world of Pantera, and then you actually let them mature via different quests up to the point that you can actually play with them in the Legends world.
That's exactly right. So when we actually design the games, right, throughout our entire roadmap, we are actually creating content for very specific types of engagement. Like, for example, New World, we have put in a lot of stories, right, because it is the first game that we intend to launch. And we think that, we are creating this new space, new world, new adventure. There's going to be world building, there's going to be history, there's going to be all kinds of things that is new, right, to what this universe is about. And I think the whole point of the game is really to convert eggs into the final NFT and have that growing stage whereby players get to explore the different stages of evolution at the same time. While they are growing up in the New World houses, they go in and out, going on adventure, expedition and whatnot. They come back with stories. They come back with items, and they come back with the lore that helps fill up the void when it comes to playing a game. Because when we are building a mobile game, often than not, people just buy into the premise, right? And seldom they get the opportunity to really be engrossed in the universe that's been crafted. Like, for example, if you look at World of Warcraft, you look at we don't even talk about World of Warcraft, we talk about Warcraft 3, Warcraft franchise.
Oh man, I like it. I was a big fan of the Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So you get that immersiveness, right? That story-based, the narrative-driven kind of gameplay, and the mechanic is to supplement that storytelling, right? So it becomes a medium, it becomes a feature that heavily revolves around the storyline. And New World is all about that, right? So it doesn't have that much competitive gameplay, neither does it have heavy pay-to-earn features, but it is immersive in the sense that we have put up every single bit of writers' brain juice, right, into coming up with the things that make sense in this new world that we are trying to introduce to you, thus the name New World.
Is it also possible in the New World, sorry to interrupt, but is it also possible in the New World to steer the eggs into okay, you have the base mechanics of the different creatures, of the different eggs, you have the different classes, but is it also possible within the lore and within the gameplay to steer them in a different direction that they excel at one thing when they are eventually NFTs?
Each egg is designed with a flavor, but in terms of what the activities happens or were to happen in the story is a little bit chance based. But there are some algorithms behind that will determine what are the probabilities for each of these events to occur, because the events are tied to the DGPALs themselves earning a title, right? Because if you look at the NFTs that we have right now, some NFTs have titles, some NFTs do not have titles. So that's actually one of the outputs of what the adventures that they went on while they are growing up in New World will affect the NFT itself, the final form, right? And at this point, in New World and Legends, there aren't any core mechanics that's revolved around the title, but it becomes a variable for game designers to work on in the future.
Nice, nice. And when we look at Legends, I imagine that New World will come out first.
Correct. We'll be making an announcement, but for those who are in AMA, it will be on the 23rd of May.
Already on the 23rd of May. Nice.
Yes, that's correct.
And then shortly thereafter, there will be the Legends, and from there we will reach out or build up to momentum where people actually are able to play against each other and explore the world.
That's really quickly. It's going to happen on the 31st of May.
So
just a 1 week period.
Oh, it's you have a very busy period ahead of you in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, that's excluding the IGO that's going to happen as well.
Yeah, well, that actually comes into place where Samson addressed is that you have different teams and different focuses, so it actually is parallel to each other.
That's correct. So yes. I think one of the AMA questions that was brought up, right, is that people were talking about development and budget and whatnot. So why do we keep saying we have a big team, and why is it taking so long to ship New World and all the other games? If anybody is telling you that they can build a game in less than 6 months, I'm not sure what kind of game quality can you actually get out of it, right? So when we actually start each game, we put in at least 9 months to 1 year to develop the game, right? So this whole concept started last year, and we have 4 teams in concurrent developing the games. One building New World, one building Legends, one is building Adventure as we speak, one is building DGP Plaza. So all of these things are happening right now. We have all these things on hand. We're just waiting for the whole thing to mature and ship it out.
Another 2 teams, one for marketplace and also one for NFT loaning system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then on top of that, we have community management team and all kinds of stuff.
It's crazy, man.
Well, it's nice. Yeah. Let's go over some questions from the community. First question is from Taurus. We all know the problem with NFT is oversupply and low demand. Like other NFT play to earn, when they released, the price went up, creating hype, but after the price went down, crazy. As usual, when prices go down, people always sell their NFT, thus creating an oversupply. This problem occurs in Axie, Thetan, etc. I know this is not good to talk about prices, but it's important to us, and I feel his question, so it's a valid question. There are still a lot of people out there who think NFT play to earn is a Ponzi scheme. So what is the DGPAL strategy going forward to prevent this from happening?
You want to pick it up, or I pick that up, kid? I think in my initial introduction, you look at how we build the business, right? But you can tell what we are trying to do is precisely to make sure that we are going against the type of what other companies are doing, right? That is why I always tell the team a constant engagement with the community and also constant putting out new content, right? With different mechanics, different utilities, makes a huge difference to your ecosystem. That's why we never talk about just games. We talk about the whole platform, right? We even have discussion, right, with external party talking about third-party IPs and stuff like that. Of course, this is still early days, But there are things that we are talking from the business perspective, from the partnership perspective, where and also from the game perspective, right, where we want to constantly have different ways, right, to put it into the platform. I call it a platform, or the Digiverse, the ecosystem, right. So I think this is very, very important. And you look at most of the game company that's out there, you want to wait for a content update or even the second version of the games. It's very, very long, and some of them don't even have games. You have to wait for 8 months, 9 months, and you don't even smell the game that is coming. So this is what we are trying to avoid, and we really that's why the whole organization structure is built around that. To just what you just brought up, Bert, right? Is really to answer that questions, and we are trying to attempt that. And every VCs that is going to back us, by the way, we are going to announce all the VCs, all the big guys that is going to back this project. And a lot of them saw the aggressiveness that we are putting in place behind the scene, right? And the kind of people that we are hiring and the investment that we are putting in is a bit crazy. But nevertheless, I hope I answer your question. But
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
have anything you want to add? You can just top up. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a very big concern right now because they are comparing apples and oranges right now. Like a lot of people actually take XC as a case study, right? Both from things to do and things not to do from the game maker's point of view, right? What they did is they allow breeding in a game. So in terms of like user base, even if the numbers of users stays stagnant, the NFT count will always be increasing. And what you can see right now, what we're doing is that we are not opening up breeding. So I think this is going to be an important topic to talk about literally, right? Because a lot of people are saying, hey, when is breeding coming out? When is breeding coming out? Because they think that our game is going to function exactly like XC. And because of that assumption, then breeding becomes a must in the feature list, right? I think that end of the day, we are trying to offer something different, like a different point of view on how this whole project can play out. Right, so I think there are going to be some assumptions that has to be removed and really give the game a try so that you understand the mechanics, so they understand where the value lies and how it will become valuable, right, for people who buy it early and how actually they get to benefit by being an early believer and investor in the project.
Yeah, nice. I think it already starts with how you approach the launch with New World. There is where it all starts, and from there you can either build up or hop on in Legends. But it starts with New World, and from there you actually start exploring, start playing, and although people like to compare projects like this or any gaming on the blockchain with Axie Infinity because they had, of course, had the first mover advantage, and with first mover advantage comes also the problem that. Well, I don't know how to put it in English, but there's the law of first mover advantage is also preventing you to from growing organically, and all the bad things in your game and in your project will come out eventually, as did so with Axie Infinity. They just started out a card game, and they never envisioned it to become this big. And they didn't think about all the things we just discussed up front of the project. They never envisioned their success. And that's different coming from you guys because you come from a traditional gaming studio, a whole background in that, diversity in teams. So I think it's better thought of and better constructed as a business before the game.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we have seen a lot of projects where when it's a collection based NFT set, right? So the scarcity itself will support the value of the NFT, right? So I think this kind of scarcity is also artificially created by the creator themselves. But from our standpoint, it is basically for us to balance the number of NFTs that's required in the game and the number of players that we realistically have on hand, right? Not expected player base, but rather real players who wants to play the game and how many NFTs do they need to play the game, and that's how much we will be releasing, right? So over time, I think these numbers, if we keep close to our heart and controlling it well, looking at all the big data and having all the correct infrastructure analytics planted in, it will actually support us in understanding our market, understanding the demands, and also control the economy in a sensible manner.
Yeah, fantastic. Then we have a second question. What can enthusiast investors and expect in terms of future plans? I think we just covered that in the introduction, actually, about the roadmap and how, the 23rd will be New World, the 31st will be the Legends coming out, and in between also the IGO, and that's actually a pretty nice bridge to the third question. Maybe you can take the third question, Kit, because you're the expert on the economics behind the game.
Yeah, so DGG is going to be our governance token. So anything that we plant in terms of utility that utilizes DGG is going to be needle moving in terms of progression and also significance for the players in terms of like their investment into the game accounts and also the number of NFTs they can own. Right, so all the future sales, even though we started off with CRO for the Genesis sale, we will be moving to DGG. So limited edition, special sales, all the third-party IP is all going to be participating using DGG. And on top of that, OPAL is just a game currency that we use for constant circulation. It's unlimited. So what that means is that there's no way for you to buy it except to play the game. And yeah, there's going to be some use cases for the OPAL. Some will be useful. And I think if you guys are familiar with like World of Warcraft, right? So there are a lot of gold farmers out there, and the thing is, it's all about the demand, right? So if let's say there are people buying the gold, then you are literally creating the job for gold farmers to exist. So there's going to be a lot of exchanges between the players because some will have different needs at different point of time in their gaming career in Digiverse. I think this is really something that you can see how OPAL will interact with the market and the player.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's you. Basically, what you're saying is everybody can earn Opal by completing quests, exploring, going on adventures, going into the arcade. Everybody can use their Opal or earn Opal, but it's not something you can buy on a decentralized or a centralized exchange. That will be the governance token, DGC, the DG coin, and for that it will be either also the governance token, but it's also used to enhance your DGPALs, buy stuff on the DG marketplace or a third-party marketplace instead of Crow.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of use cases for both of the tokens because, again, if you look at the existing games right now, most of them are very straightforward because it's one singular game loop and one singular game genre, right? So if you look at ours, every single time a new game is launched, there's going to be new use cases for the DGG as well as the OPAL. So it depends on how important an action is, the respective tokens will be will be burnt to actually make that action.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it will be a vast economy. And I like the reference with the gold farming, although I didn't like to pay euros or dollars for gold in World of Warcraft. But for me, as I'm a dad of two kids, and when I was playing World of Warcraft, I didn't have time to grind all day long. And so I did needed gold to craft and to buy stuff on the marketplace or auction house, as we called it in World of Warcraft. But this will be covered in the Opal token, where the people can grind for Opal and then, well, sell it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Will there be any rewards for holding and staking DG coin?
Yeah, we have put in place a few gamified staking for DGG because we think that end of the day, staking is a feature for DeFi project, right? So we are a GameFi project. We still want to allow both staking in terms of putting coins for more coins at the same time putting coins for more game benefits.
Yeah.
Right. So I think for those who are actually buying into the DGG, you will expect a gamified form of staking that not only gives you exclusive rewards that is game related. They can also be exclusive NFTs. But at the same time, when Adventure comes out, DGG staking will actually give you some kind of governance power inside the game that allow you to steer decisions that is being made inside the house that you are in.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of new words being introduced even to our new long-time followers on our Discord. So let me just quickly go over what that means, right? So when you are staking DGG, the highest stakers, a group of you guys, will be appointed the house council, right, inside Adventure, and that's together you guys can decide the best strategy to go against the other houses, and that's where you're using the tower defense game core loop to facilitate the conquest of different kinds of things that we're going to throw at you guys, and compete with other houses for rewards and whatnot.
Oh, that's
So yeah, I'm
actually
really excited about Adventure.
battling
It's a very
battling of
epic
the
game.
clans.
Yes, that's right.
So that actually covers another question also regarding clans. Are there going to be any restrictions in case of numbers, clan members, max numbers of users held by a clan, or can you elaborate on that question?
Yes, we will be releasing a new campaign, design campaign for the community very soon. This is actually a house design campaign, right? So the clans are the subset of a house. So anybody with an ultra rare NFT can form a clan, right? There are some minimum requirement in terms of head counts, and also there is a soft cap right now, which is capped at 30 members per clan. This number will definitely increase over time, as well as unlocked through some perks and upgrades. Right, so we'll start at 30 for now. Yeah, so these are really some of the baseline that we'll be starting. And at the same time, this clan system will be consistent throughout all the games that we have. So if you join a clan, you are actually a clan in the Digiverse, right? So the same clan will be reflected in Legends, the same clan will be reflected in Adventure.
And a clan will be a part of a house.
Yes, correct. So basically, multiple clans will pledge allegiance to a house, and collectively, with a group of clans, you'll be competing for glory, competing for rewards and fat loots against the other houses.
I like fat loots.
Everybody loves fat loots.
Absolutely. Then, of course, we will come to the question of the defense game, the adventures game. Will it be single player, like Kingdom Rush? It's actually more a suggestion. It's not actually a question. But I think you already covered a lot of that with the houses and how you can actually, with the governance, but also with battling against each other.
Yeah, so I think we're definitely open for ideas, right, as we continue the development. Like I said, the thing has already started in terms of development. And if we look at the design, or rather you look at the purpose that Adventure is supposed to serve in the overarching experience that we're trying to deliver, is that New World is supposed to be the narrative part. Legends is supposed to be the PvP, player versus player focused competitive game. And Adventure is supposed to be a community PvE concept. So we expect a lot of features that players will come together to maximize and optimize their processes and also their resources so that they actually can compete optimally with the other houses. There won't be direct conflict between the houses, but there will be benchmarks that we will define that determines which house performed the best in which season, and they will be able to unlock additional gamified features, right, to earn the fat loots.
Well, there will be, I can tell you up front, there will be competition between the houses. People like to win, so they will either make the competition in Discord or on Twitter or whatever, or in the social interaction features that will be implemented. But trust me, there will be a lot of competition.
Yeah, I think we all thrive on that. I think it's also fun competition. So yeah, let's all pile in, and yeah, give us a suggestion. Tell us what you want to see, because I think end of the day, we want ownership to be given out to the players themselves as well, because we think that we are creating a platform whereby the game contents are also driven by the community sentiments, like what they want to see, what they want to play. And again, since we are a multi-game platform, we also are open to ideas of what to build in the second year, third year, fourth year of our operations. And these are really going to beef up the entire gamified platform experience that we have on Digiverse.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I also like the way you approach the PvP. It's actually everybody can play and everybody can start. It's with most games it will be easy to start, but hard to master. And I think that is basically also the whole lettering system is about. When you invest time, when you devote yourself to learning something to become an excellent player in a game, then you should be rewarded accordingly. And the higher up you come in the rankings, the harder it will become for you to choose between your defense and offensive forces. How do you implement them? How do you position them? It will be very nice to see how that evolves. And I think also a little bit of untapped water there, because eventually there will be balancing mechanics that need to be taken place, because maybe some of the DGPALs are more how do you call it, unbalanced than the other ones, or combinations of several DGPALs will become more unbalanced and stronger. So people want those. How will you approach that?
Right, definitely. I think it's about the meta, right? We're talking about once we release a game, regardless of what the design intentions are, players going to find a way to optimize performance.
Actually,
I think even back when I was playing World of Warcraft Hardcore, we are literally creating calculators just to see at what point do I stop stacking strength, right? And just move on to the other stats. So I think the players were going to play a big part in defining the meta, because they are going to be so many of them taking it very seriously. They're going to figure out the meta and whatnot. And I think the beauty about our game mechanism is that on top of just introducing new mechanism to soften the meta or change the meta altogether, each game will interpret the NFTs accordingly. And the thing is, even if we were to have so-called, on hindsight, right, made a mistake in terms of making a NFT too powerful in terms of stats wise, right, the game itself can actually still balance out that particular NFT, because it doesn't alter the NFT itself, but it just basically says that maybe for this particular NFT that came to this game, you will get some kind of like a stats modifier to make it more balanced, right? The thing is, we are expecting this NFT to be used in multiple games. And at the same time, we do not want the game designer to be limited because the NFTs are structured that way. So if it's the intention for the game designer to say this particular NFT is supposed to be this powerful, they can actually go ahead and add a stats modifier to make it even more powerful. Like maybe they just happen to say, okay, I'm going to make all limited edition NFT the bosses of this game, right? The moment you have a limited edition, you bring it in, I'm going to multiply the stats like mad, so that it becomes boss ready in terms of the stats. And that's how actually balancing can be obtained. And also encompassing the concept of interoperability with multiple games and different genre. How do you actually create that balance, right? Yeah. So on top of the part that there's no inherent game design metadata embedded inside the NFTs itself, they only have variables and stats. So the game itself will actually be reading these stats and make the adjustment accordingly in order to obtain that balance.
yeah, absolutely. Let's continue to another question from the audience. We have a question about the economics, but that's asked and answered already. Will there be an NFT lending system? I think Samson hinted a little bit towards that already.
Oh yeah, that will be DG League. It's inside a white paper. It's in development already, so there's a team dedicated to make that happen. We are planning to go live with a closed beta version sometime in late June, and hopefully, if things works out well, we can actually roll it out to everybody in July.
Fantastic. Another interesting question. What makes DGPALs unique in the play-to-earn gaming space? What's your favorite feature that makes you stand out from the rest of the community of gamers?
In fact, I'm going to give Samson an opportunity to answer this question, because I think I've been hogging the mic. I'm going to add on.
I'm actually trying to understand the questions, because I think, as you can see, what we are trying to build, right? That our vision, right, of what we are trying to do, that itself is really a differentiation, right? Unless I understand that question wrongly, but
no, well, I think it's a very abstract question. Also, it can entail everything, and the way I understand this, what are your unique selling points in the crypto space, in the crypto gaming space? That's how I read the question.
I think it goes back to the point that we always state, right? What problem are we trying to solve?
Yeah.
And looking at all the gaps that we see in the crypto space. By the way, the crypto space is still very early stage, right? But just to top it up, how we see, because we do speak to all the investors and the VCs, right? And we try to learn what other companies are doing, what are the mistakes they're making. And I guess there's one word that came to mind, right? It's all about agility as well. And whether the math is right or wrong, we just that we need to put all these things in place. And we constantly have this, the whole company is set up to be so agile. When you are agile, you can constantly move things faster, right? That's what we are trying to do actually. And in terms of the whether it's game, whether it's the marketing team, I think organization-wise, we are still lacking in many ways, but we do have a lot of experience in terms of building the whole business up. Whether it's from the media, whether it's from the esports space, because of all our experience that we have. And at the end of the day, when you speak to other VCs, actually that's the other thing that stands out from all of us is execution. But I think when it comes to execution, a lot of people just look at the games, right? They don't see beyond that.
Exactly.
And when you talk to us, when you talk to us, you can tell we focus a lot on execution, even though sometimes we don't portray that in our community. When we speak to the community, that's why I also invited all those people who invested in the studio. I'm more than welcome. In fact, one of the things that we wanted to do is, which I did many times when we started to build all this community in the esports space, and I want to take that practice into this business, which is we want to have a chance to build relationship with the community face to face. That is why we are building a physical and tabletop games. Imagine if we have that relationship with the community face to face in different countries. Of course, we can only do it where we have an agency there, right? For example, we have agency in Thailand, we have agency in Vietnam, we have agency in Philippines. We can host stuff, right? We can host, meet the community, meet the DGPALS family. Imagine how powerful is that be, right? And I always believe at the end of the day, it's all about the relationship with the community, and it goes back to the mindset of Web3. And if that is right, no matter what we build, whether we built it wrongly, whether we built it correctly, I think the agility part will help you to fix that. I think this is where our strength is. And for all the companies that we have, I think we are pretty successful. And we adopted that culture in the company. And I think a lot of people don't talk about this kind of stuff. If you go to all the AMA, everyone talks about the game. Nobody talks about the team. Nobody talks about the execution. Nobody talks about the scaling, right? So this is where I see it from my own perspective, running the whole business together with Kid.
Well, I don't only think it's it doesn't only tells the story, but it also creates trust when you can meet the persons behind the game you are investing in. They're not hiding behind profile pictures online. They're actually inviting you them into their own kitchen. Have a look, have a chat with us. Come meet us. See what the company is about. And I think that builds trust with the community, and also it creates a snowball effect in those countries where people actually have time and can invest in something without putting a lot of money into it, but become part of a community and earn money. Where it's hard to earn a decent buck.
And that's why, just to share to you, for the past few months we have been talking to a fair bit of investors, and we actually invited the investors. In fact, we have investors coming to our studios all the time, right? And because at the end of the day, I tell them, come and see how we build stuff. It's not about what we tell you. Look at our actions, right? Go and talk to the team. Even talk to the community who is building games with us in our incubator. And when you see the way we support the community, those who want to build games, that totally changes the whole mechanics of how you see people building games. It's no longer about trying to raise a bit of fun, build the games, and then work the publishers. Now everyone can build games. If you're good enough, you're good enough. I don't care whether you're what race, whether you are disabled. Everything is all about inclusive, right? And if we can include people who are passionate, who can build stuff, you are on, man. And this is where the next step is, next time moving forward, when things are more settled, when we have launched all these games, I would love to build that relationship. I would love to host a community event. I would love to hold a gathering with the community where we sit down and build the relationship with all of you guys, right? And if, of course, I'm not able to do that in US unless I fly to the US. But within what we can do, I would love to do that together with the team. I think that would be great if we can build relationship with the community.
Yeah, and it can be stage bound. For example, you can organize something in Southeast Asia where you guys are actually present, but you can have ambassadors in different regions or fly over there and have web stages where you have Zoom meetings where everybody is playing the game, having a tournament, organizing events. Well, the sky is the limit in my vision.
It's totally, and you look at the ecosystem that we have, what we are trying to, it's not because of Web3 we started building this. We have been starting building all kinds of platform in the esports and gaming precisely because we already saw that the media space is dead. Nobody watches TV, everyone playing games. And that was way before people talks about meta, was way before people talk about all this play to earn stuff. Play to earn stuff concept is not new, right? It's just that you don't have the enabler. But now when you look at the whole stuff that what we are trying to build, the whole ecosystems, I think that's the biggest USP for us. And we are trying very hard to fulfill that vision that we have.
Nice. Then we have actually a very interesting question, and it's also the last question for today. Don't worry, guys, there will be more AMAs with the team, either on DGPAL Discord or in our Discord. So don't worry, we will be back with AMAs. But I like this question. While GameFi is in a boom, crypto is very small. Do you have any plans or ideas to onboard players from mass markets who are not familiar with crypto? I think it's already a little bit answered, but also with your technical or with your strategic move to come to the Kronos ecosystem, which is actually a blue ocean or a virgin ecosystem for GameFi. I think that is already a big part of onboarding fiat money, people who are not really familiar with crypto, because Crypto.com family is actually very big on ramping fiat money and conventional money onto the blockchain with their very well played marketing machine.
Yeah, there is no denying that it's a huge market. Go first.
Go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, there's no denying that NFT gaming is actually having a lot of noise right now, a lot of hype, a lot of volume and whatnot. So here's the interesting numbers that we saw, right, is that the 80% of the, 9% of the total group is responsible for approximately 80% of the market value, right? So these are statistics that you can see if you go and Google on independent sometime in January. At this point, only 0.1% of crypto owners are holding NFTs. So what does it say? There are still 99.9% of the market of crypto holders that are not converted to NFT holders. So that's one huge potential right here, right? That 0.1% can already create so many different kinds of jobs, move all kinds of projects, and create all kinds of value for